on, guys? For today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different than the usual fishing stuff. As you can see, got my van behind me, which is what this video is going to be about. I get a lot of questions about the van. How did you build it? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? I race dirt bikes professionally, and I traveled the country a couple times in this thing, so it is basically fully set up to live out of. The question I get asked the most is, how did you do the solar? So we're going to get into that a little bit in this video. I'm actually going to do another video specifically on the whole solar install, because I'm going to be putting new panels and stuff up there. So I'll do a separate video on a full install, but I'll give you kind of a rough overview of that in this video, since that seems to be what everybody asked me. So this is a 2013 Chevy Express extended van. If you're racing dirt bikes, I highly recommend the extended van. Just gives you that little bit of extra room for the garage area where the dirt bikes go, and the area in the front where you put the bed and all that stuff, at least for my setup here. So let's check it out. So passenger side, front seat, not a whole lot happens up here, obviously, except for the driving. So there's not too much fancy about the van, but one thing you can see up here is mini fridge, multi-purpose mini fridge. Shoot, this thing has been just a dinner table, a cutting board, card table, you name it. And I bought one specifically that fits right in between these two chairs, nice and snug, so it doesn't really go anywhere. I'll show you from the back here. Got all my dog stuff right here. She goes everywhere with me. So here's the back section. So I need to get a new one of these little guys, but super handy. Just hang all my shoes and some other miscellaneous stuff in here when I'm out traveling. These shoes pretty much just stay in here all the time now. Here's the bed, which we'll talk about in just a second. It's also a bench, as you can see. So here's the mini fridge. So it's just conveniently located right there. Just reach in, grab whatever you need. And then, okay, so the bench, it's in bench form right now. So this pulls out and becomes completely flat, and I'll show you that in just a second so you can see what it looks like. But underneath, it's just, I built this whole thing myself. So I built the wall too. When I bought this van, it was completely gutted. There was nothing in here. So the very first thing to do, in my opinion, is what's it called? Insulate it. So these vans, the metal on these things is super thin. They're commercial grade vehicles. So insulated the whole thing with Dynamat, which you will find probably at your audio store or on Amazon, but it does a really great job for sound deadener. So use Dynamat first. I'll show you in the back here. Hear this? I think it sounds pretty solid. So this is what it looks like. And just did every single wall all the way through. And then in the front half, we also did Dynaliner over the top. So that's just that little bit of extra foam insulation. So keeps it a little bit cooler in the summertime and a little bit warmer in the wintertime. You definitely notice it in the wintertime. I'm trying to keep it a little bit warmer in here. So back to the bed. Okay, hopefully you can see all this. I'm a one-man crew here, so I don't have somebody holding the camera filming this. I got it all propped up there. So it's in bench form right now. These guys both fold flat. This pulls out, turns into a bed. So make sure my legs are nice and sturdy. Just pull this one out. Pull this one down. Boom. And then I have a what do you call that? A foam topper that I put on top of here, and then put some sheets on it if you're really trying to make it feel like home. And I got plenty of blankets and pillows. And Small disclaimer on this setup here: if you are taller than 6 foot, this is gonna be tough, because when I lay down here width to width, my feet are like just hanging off the edge close to the door, and I'm 5'10". So yeah, if you're a whole lot taller than that, this setup, unless you're sleeping with the doors wide open, is probably not gonna be your best bet. So small disclaimer there. But yeah, that's how this bed works. It's super handy because I can put it up into the bench and get it up out of the way if I'm not using it. I also set it up to where the whole thing pivots. So the whole thing will pivot up against the wall, and the reason for that is because of my solar. So with the solar, I got the panels. Oh, we have the panels up on top, and they run down and through the wiring, and they come inside here, and they run all the way through the top on the inside of the van, and they come down right here where you see these two. Well, they come in to this box down here. Let's see, can you see all that? So they come into there. This is the solar controller box, and then I have the batteries inside here, which are specifically made for solar. They're deep cycle AGM batteries. They won't off gas anything because there's no fluids or anything like that to leak, so you can mount the things upside down too if you wanted. But I bolted this box to the floor just in case anything ever happened. I don't have 100-pound batteries coming and flying up hitting me while I'm driving. So the cords come from the solar panels. They come in, they go into the controller box, they come off of the controller box, go to the battery, and then off of the battery I have my inverter on top of that, and then the extension cord that comes off of that. So I can run the mini fridge, I have LED lights all throughout, as you can see. I have them all in the back too, and that's what runs everything. So my solar panels are currently not working right now because, another disclaimer here, not an ideal thing to go through a drive-through car wash with them up there, because you have wires up there that are basically just taped down to the top of the van. And I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. I'd done it a few times, and then finally it caught up with me and it ripped 2 of the solar panels off. So I normally run 4 solar panels. They're 100 watts each. So again, I'm going to go through a more detailed breakdown of how all the solar connects and how it all works and all that stuff in a separate video. But so it's not working right now, but normally what I would run off of the solar power is my mini fridge, the LED lights. I could charge my laptop, or charge cameras or anything like that. I also have a little fan that I put in here that I charge that I use that when it's hot. So solar is super convenient, super nice to have. I also have just a little shower curtain rod going across right here, and I'll hang all my clothes on that, like my jackets and extra riding gear and stuff like that, so that it acts as basically curtain when you're back here sleeping and you don't want people staring in the windows at you. That works out really well. So let's go check out the back of the van. All right, let's try this again. I recorded this already earlier, but apparently I was playing in fast motion, so it didn't really come out. So here's the back of the van. Kind of already briefly showed you when I was showing you the Dynamat. So after we did the insulation and sound deadener stuff, the next thing that I did was build the wall. So there's lots of different ways that I've seen this done in dirt bike vans and stuff before. I'm sure they all the ways work just fine. I think I used like 1/2-inch plywood as the actual wall itself, and I used a jigsaw. And kind of made a template to cut out, all these angles that the van has down the sides there, and I tried to get it, pretty close. And at the top, there's a piece of angle iron, and I specifically put the wall where I did on purpose. So I wanted to use the front side of that brace up here, so it'd be like right here, with the angle iron coming off of that, so that I have that extra height to go up to the very top of the wall versus going off of the front side. I knew by doing that I'm giving up a couple inches of space to put the dirt bikes in here. They still fit, just have to turn the handlebars a little bit. But that was my game plan coming in. So I got angle iron up there. I also have angle iron at the bottom, and that's what bolts it all in, and then these separate brace pieces here. So that's how the wall works. And then this rug, specifically made for this van. I forgot what the brand of it is. I would have to try to find it. But anyways, specifically made for the van. And this thing goes, you know, from here all the way to right basically behind the seats. So I just measured everything out, and then I cut it right at the back of the wall on this side right here so that I could take this out and wash it. So this rug is actually made to kind of hold the oil, hold gas, or anything like that if you spill anything, which is perfect because I have dirt bikes in here most of the time. And man, if it isn't one thing, it's another. Now the battery on the GoPro just died. So anyways, the rug. So I don't remember what I just said or didn't say, but it holds the oil, it holds the gas and everything. You could take it out, wash it. As you can tell, it's pretty dirty right now. I need to take it out and pressure wash it. I haven't washed it in a while, but I do sweep it out pretty often. But it's nice, you know, it keeps everything underneath looking pretty nice, not all scraped up, so that if I ever go to sell this van later on, this doesn't look, you know, super hammered back here. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, I have the net up in the front there. I just used to kind of store extra stuff in. And then I have these two galvanized piping bars in here that go across. And I used to work for a motorcycle gear company, and I had a lot of samples that I was carrying around all over the place. So it was nice. I had a rolling cart that just kind of slid right in here on the bottom, and then I could take the samples and then hang them all up, and kept everything nice and organized. That way I could just get to the spot that I'm showing up to, pull out my rolling rack, set it up, pull the samples straight off of up there, and then hang them right on the rack, and everything stayed nice and in order and off the ground, and it was pretty efficient. So now what I use it for is to put my fishing poles on. So just slide my fishing poles up and up here, and they stay up and out of the way so that I can still have the dirt bike and stuff in here also. And everything kind of has its own little spot. So that's what the back of the van looks like. I'll show you the solar panels one more time, just so you can see them. They're hammered, they're old, they're dirty. This wiring looks terrible. It's been ripped off by those other two. So you'll see when I do the new setup. I won't be using these guys, which are called branch connectors. I found a better one that's much more low profile, so you essentially won't hardly see anything up here on the top when you're looking at the van from the side. So that'll be pretty cool. Stay tuned for that solar video, because I know that's probably what y'all want to see anyways. You don't really care about all this stuff, but hey, whatever. If you have any questions about anything else on the van that I've done or anything like that, shoot me a comment. I'd be happy to offer my advice, or offer me your advice. I don't know. Van life is pretty cool because it's pretty stealthy, you know, and the doors are all shut and everything. You know, besides the Fox sticker on here, you wouldn't even know anything about this van. It just, you know, looks like a regular old commercial van. So it's pretty cool to see what's on the inside and how everybody else's is different, because there's so many different ways that you could do this stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think. All right, so I thought the video was going to be over already, but I figured I would show you what it looks like kind of with everything back in the van. So I reloaded everything up. So check this out. Okay, not a whole lot different in here. Just got all my blankets, pillow topper or mattress topper, all that stuff tucked in over there. Down under here I got my cooking grill, and then all my cooking supplies, Ziplocs and seasonings and knives and cutting boards and all that good stuff down there. And that's where all that stuff lives, basically. It all stays down there. And got some snacks over here. And in the back, okay, so there's a lot in here at the moment. I got everything from dirt bikes to tools to golfing to backpacking to fishing. It's all in here, and it's not usually all in here all at the same time, but just to show you that it can be. So chairs over there, dirt bike, fishing poles all up in the top like I was telling you, tools, Got my rolling cart that has some of my tools that I don't use quite so often in. My boots are up there, gear bag. So all that stuff is all in here. And what's nice, like I said before, it's in a van. You don't have to worry about it blowing out or anything going down the road. So it's all in there. So anyways, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Gonna be putting out hopefully some more fishing videos here pretty soon. More how-to type fishing videos. With the creek fire that happened up in the Sierras, that's usually where I do all my fishing, and that place just burned down, and the Sierra National Forest is officially closed. So probably just kind of do some fishing around here, more how-to tutorial type stuff, and then maybe we'll get back into doing some bass fishing. And then eventually we will have the solar video, how to install solar on your van or RV or whatever it may be. So hit the subscribe button so you get the notifications for when I put those out, and we will see you next time. Thanks.